This is the story of the elite Devil Brigade and their mission to capture one of the most heavily defended mountains in all of Italy during World War II. The men of the 50th Battalion, also known as the Devil's Brigade, were some of the most highly trained commandos in the entire American Army. Tasked with taking out some of Germany's toughest defenses, they were more than up for the job. But what they didn't know was that their upcoming mission would be one of the most daring of the entire war. Their objective was Mount Defenza, an almost 7,000-foot-high mountain peak overlooking the town of Cassino, which had been occupied by the Germans. This made the mountain an ideal location for a defensive position from where the Germans could easily keep the Allies out, while also supplying the troops in Cassino with food and ammunition. In order to get to the top of the mountain and destroy these supplies, the 50th Battalion had to scale a near-vertical cliff face riddled with enemy machine gun nests and pillboxes. To do this, they would employ a tactic known as the assault from the clouds. In the early hours of the morning, thick fog blanketed the mountainside, which gave the commandos an element of surprise as they began their nearly 2,000-foot climb up the side of the mountain. Under the cover of this fog, they would move from rock to rock, exposing themselves to enemy fire only when absolutely necessary. Once they got close enough to the summit, they began to take heavy casualties, as the Germans opened fire with everything they had. With their heavy weapons, the soldiers of the 50th slowly but surely began to make their way to the top. But the real challenge wasn't the climb or the enemy fire. It was the harsh terrain and the terrible weather conditions that made it nearly impossible for the men to stay warm or dry. Many of them had to take off their packs in order to move more quickly, leaving them exposed to the freezing cold rain and wind. Despite the terrible conditions, the soldiers pressed on. By the end of the day, they had seized the mountain and destroyed the German supply depot. Although the official report stated that the operation had been a complete success, the truth was much more grim. Out of the 600 men that had started the mission, only 200 made it back alive. Though the Devil's Brigade suffered heavy casualties during their assault on Mount Defiance, their bravery and tenacity in the face of impossible odds is truly inspiring. What do you think? Is this the greatest battle of World War II? Let me know in the comments.